This week, one-star bumps at the NBA All-Star Game. No LeBron James, but plenty of Draymond Green. One-star game operations. How to do hats at 43. Enjoy this episode.
This episode of One Star Recruits is brought to you by 500level.com, the best t-shirts in sports. Go grab your Luka Lakers gear. They got fresh new shirts up, DK. Nas Reed, Timberwolves. Big man putting in work. Your guy up in Portland, Denny Avdija. Is that how you say it? Avdija? They got mystery shirts for $10. 500level.com. Get 20% off everything on the site with the discount code DK and RIP at checkout. DKANDRIP. 500level.com. Let's go.
Yo, aloha, 179 pounds. All right, Rip. Episode 236. Dude, get all your Eagles celebration gear too at 500level.com. The Kelly Green shirts with the cartoon character faces of all your favorite guys on that squad. Probably the best shirts when they drop the championship versions of those. And that Kelly Green is epic color, 500level.com. I did see the Lakers 77. The Lucas shirts have arrived. It's for our one stars Rip in LA and OC. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. What's the code again?
DKANDRIP. That's our names. DK and RIP.
Treat yourself. Time to get a fun shirt in your repertoire. Those are good ones right now. Dude, I know you treated yourself, Rip, the week of love, the week of amore. How you feeling?
I'm just glad I wasn't on a Delta Airlines plane in Toronto yesterday. You see that craziness? I want your 60-second take on what you would do if your plane ended up upside down sliding on ice down a runway.
Terrifying. I've had some scary flights my last couple because I live in the Pac Northwest now, and it is more windy. And
you're a no seatbelt guy, right? Are you no seatbelt flyer? Isn't that your thing?
Dude, excuse me, man. I just went Diet Pepsi down the complete wrong hatch. I'm a absolute seatbelter at all times. It gets super bumpy. It looked like that was so windy up there in Canada. Where was that, Rip? Toronto? Montreal? Where was that?
Pearson Airport, Toronto, Canada.
In the T-dot, man, up there. It's so windy. I mean, terrifying. There's a good lesson. Two things happened right in that is that the wings broke off. Sometimes in the past, wings haven't broke off, and that's how the fuselage busts open on those things. So the wings busted off, and then, yeah, the seats didn't fall all over the place. And if you're seatbelted in, all good, but terrifying. I have a flight. I'm going to Phoenix Friday. I'm checking the weather like crazy, man. Luckily, it's 80 degrees almost. I'm not lying in Phoenix, Rip. 79 checking in for spring training, starting in the valley, in the Phoenix area and down in Tucson. 80 degrees. I'm working with, let's see, I'm up to 45 at the Portland studio. Not bad. Not bad at all. But can you believe that shit, Rip? Already. Get that AC going if you're in the 602.
You're gonna be on a tank top in the grass outfield at Scottsdale Stadium. Where can the One Stars listeners find you at a spring training?
Great reference, Rip. No Firebird Stadium for me. No Scottsdale. I will be Tempe side. Catch me at, anybody wants to meet up, you can catch me at the Arizona Mills Mall, staying at a hotel there. Hotels, crazy prices in Arizona. This is when they get you in Arizona. When the weather is nice and the rest of it's shitty. It was like -12 in Chicago. I'm going to talk about Chicago, actually. Note that. Winston, note Chicago. Dude, so everybody's going there. So the damn Spring Hill Suites was $250 for a night. But I had to do, I'm going to see my pops. I'm going to see my sister. So I'm going to get out there. But no baseball for me. Catch me there. Ted's Hot Dogs. Catch me. Man, where else am I going to be, Rip? I want to try to maybe swing some golf clubs. I'm not sure how I'm going to make that, let that work out. But we'll figure it out, man. I'm going to be driving around my pop's Chevy Corsica 1986. So you can catch me in that, coming down Broadway and McClintock.
The real ones know that if you're within 2 miles of a spring training stadium, which you are, Arizona Mills, I'm Tempe Diablo Stadium, a mile and a half from there, there's no way you're getting out of there for less than $200 a night this time of year.
Question is if I should get some lids from spring training, because note it, Winston, once again for later in the show, I'm looking at new hats. In particular, some spring training hats have some cool logos I've seen with the Valley. With the Valley's been integrated, Arizona as the state's been integrated nicely into the merch of spring training again. The 90s of merch is coming back.
Baseball hats are back.
500level.com though too. So right partnership for us. So we're in the right space, Rip. We're all here. It's all love. We're all full of love, Rip, and Red Dye 3, your favorite. Dude, you know who the biggest culprit of that shit is? I was reading about it after you it was your 1 star moment of the week, I think, possibly. Jury Duty and Red Dye 3.
I'll tell you what it
Um
is. No, I went off on Red Dye 3 last week, and the very next day after recording the pod, we went to a baseball game. My wife took my 6-year-old to the snack shack, comes back with a bag of Skittles. I said, no. I said, you can't do it. So I took one for the team. I tried to split as many as possible with him so that stuff would go into my body and not his innocent
they're
young
like that. What
6-year-old
they call
body.
you out, Dad? Why are you eating all the reds? You trying to eat all the reds for him? Take to eat those grenades?
I think that the thing with the Red Dye 3, I think it's in every color. It's like a colorblind chemical. I think it doesn't discriminate. So we got yellow, green, purple. I think it's in every Skittle
That's some
basically.
tricky bullshit. What
Throw them
a
in the trash.
thing. Well, the biggest culprit is Valentine's Day love hearts, which are very mid fucking sweets, especially for Valentine's Day. I don't know why they got us on those as kids. I mean, I will very reluctantly eat a handful, and I'll spit a white one out. Those are the worst. You know what I'm talking about? The charmed hearts.
Yeah, they're better when they're soft. Pro tip: if you can somehow get them rained on or put them like
Pocket.
in a bread preserver, like yeah, and you get them a little soft, they're much better.
Don't hit your microwave with those in that Red Dye 3. You're just getting all kinds of shit. I've seen it all over the place though. And then I'm gonna hang it in the rafters real fast because I was already thinking about doing it, but now officially I'm gonna do it. Number one culprit still not changing their game. I think even after all this bad PR, candy corn, candy corn, full of it. And you're right. Hey, no red in that shit. Rip full of Red Dye 3. So you're right. Your theory is correct.
Pretty sure I haven't had a candy corn since 1989, and I haven't even seen one since about 2003. So you don't have to worry about those in my house.
I mess with them, man. I mess with them. That's a rarity. You don't find a lot of humans who like those things. I do, but I'm done with them. Rafter them. I don't like them that much, man. Shit's been good for me too. Cold in Chicago, cold in Portland. We had a little snow apocalypse, a little one. The snow apocalypse at 25 here. Our guy producer Winston Rip, was taking matters into his own hands. He decided to paint the entire yard yellow. Guy was out there getting it done. He's in his complete happy place. We've realized with the snow. The simple things in life, Rip, the small things in life, but fun to see snow. I did the math. Last time I had a snow weekend of my own was when I lived in Flagstaff 19 years ago. So spin it forward 20 years, ran back a snow weekend. It was pretty brilliant. I sent you some pics. You jealous?
A little
Okay.
bit, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a fan of the cold, but a little bit of snow is always fun. I mean, if it snows a couple days a year where you're at, I think you're in a good spot.
It was nice, man. It's a welcome back. It's a welcome back to life. It was a kick in the face for sports fans though this weekend. So football's done. You're hanging out with your family, your wife, whoever's in your house a little bit more. NBA is proving to just be a bigger flop than Raja versus Kobe situation. Flop city. I even stumbled back upon one of my old school Recs of the Week, Rip. This is why I wanted to bring back the city of Chicago. It's fresh in my brain. I don't even know if you remember this Rec of the Week, Rip. Do you remember when I recommended Aerial America?
I have no idea what that is.
God, I know it doesn't. I all years I take note and I listen and I think about it like the Red Dye 3. I'm a great friend and a great listener. And you don't remember shit I say. I'll remind you. No, it's not that serious, but it's is serious. I mean, if you haven't seen the Chicago episode, we're talking. You're sitting around. You don't need to be watching fucking Creighton hoops or pickleball tour for an hour. Flip on Aerial America, some historic aerial views of the Windy City. Captures like a day in the life of Chicago. Guys washing windows on the skyscrapers, the Great Lakes. You got Rip. You got architecture. Everything rebuilt after a fire in 1871. It's like inspiration for all the rebuilding stuff that needs to happen. The episode has it all. Aerial America. That's what I was watching instead of the All-Star game. Happy as a clam. Rip. The All-Star game was just pure basura, trash. And I couldn't. I was almost cringe. I had to. It always is every year, especially the intros and all the stuff and all this. It's not basketball centric, so it's not for me. So, dude, I was heavy Aerial America. again. Curious. I know you got kids who were pumped up about it. You probably had to sit through more of this particular All Star weekend than most. 1 to 5 stars, Rip. Go ahead.
You can't find people jumping over Kias on Aerial America. I'll tell you that much. I watched probably 80% of All Star Weekend. I did not watch any of the celebrity game, but I did watch the skills challenge. I watched the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, and obviously the game. And I watched the Rising Stars game on Friday. We watched a lot of stuff, DK. I do like the tournament style with the 4 teams, much better than just a straight up game where guys are just trying crazy stuff, playing no defense, scoring 160. So the tournament style I think might be here to stay. The final game was a bit of a blowout, but most of the other games were close. We almost had a shocker where the Rising Stars beat the OGs in the semifinal, I believe. But I think that's going to stay for at least next year and see how people respond to it. I mean, the thing is that you got to be consistent at some point. You can't change the format of it every couple years, or people are really going to get turned off.
Yeah, it's there. It's lost. It's a loss. It's a lost cause. 1 star bump. Mac McClung been on the podcast. Dunk champion, hometown hero. We already know about him. Listen back. It's a great episode. Gate City, Virginia. Rip. And he donated that Kia, by the way, because he's won 3 times. I don't know. Side note, jumping over a car did, even when Blake Griffin did it, didn't do it for me. Still doesn't do it. Still isn't that impressive. The only jump over a car that I was ever impressed with, I learned was fake, which was Kobe in the video of YouTube. YouTube it. Put it up right now, your phone. Kobe jumping over a car. But I don't buy into that anyway. So I'm glad he got rid of it. I do buy into Mac being the best dunker. Two main things stood out that make him the best dunker, just besides the other guys they trotted out. Buzelis, trash. He shouldn't have even been there. Jackson, boring, just boring. Just it was built for Mac to be there and showing up, but he had to do a couple things to make dunk. He has to make the dunks pop a little bit more. His size automatically does that a little bit. Smaller guy, mom. If you remember, passionate about dunking. He can really get up and fly. He's flying over Kias. Still not that impressive to me, but he's flying over Kias. People seem to appreciate that. How he's making those dunks pop, though, more is he's doing almost like figure skaters do, or gymnasts do, or skateboarders do when they kind of make those late turns. So he's turning, he's getting up, he's elevating, he's making eye contact with the crowd, with the cameras. He's holding the pose, and then it's a quick twitch movement, like a triple axel in figure skating. It's like a quick bam, and that's where the second pop comes from. So little dude with pop, second pop with a quick twitch movement, and then a hard finish, and he's mastered it. That's why the 50s. So kudos. And I get it. The reason that it wasn't that fun was because the other guys didn't do those things that I said just now. They didn't have levels of pop to their dunks. You can take away missing the dunks, how creative they are. If the guy can't in the pajamas, who was driving me nuts, by the way, I don't know if he was driving you nuts at all, but all those things happening. At the end of the day, you have to have 2 levels, in my opinion, of pop to get the crowd on your side and for those to be entertaining. And Mac has had that consistently. So that's my take, Rip. Tear it apart. Go ahead. What do you think of being over the car? Come on, dude. Are you still with the car? Come on.
Look, I agree with your 2 things that he does to make those things pop. I have a couple more to add. Number one is obviously the creativity, because to me Vince Carter is still the best dunker of all time, but he rarely used any props. It was just all crazy dunks and just how he hangs in the air. But number 2 for Mac is that, and this is why guys like Buzelis and Andre Jackson were trash, because they took a whole minute and a half to even make a dunk. Mac very rarely even goes past the first attempt. He almost always gets it on the first attempt, and
He's a pro. Huge. That's also important.
It shows preparation, and if you look at a behind the scenes video from earlier this month in a warehouse down in Florida somewhere, he had possibly a RAV4 in there, and he was dunking over it. And so that footage is out there. It's pretty cool. And if you don't think jumping over a car is impressive, DK, do what I did yesterday. I found myself standing in my driveway in Long Beach. I have a Kia Forte. It was parked across the street. I was staring at it for 60 seconds and just thinking about trying to jump over it. I thought to myself, I could probably get to the doorknob, possibly to the bottom of the window, a few inches above the doorknob. But there is no way in hell, as a 46-year-old man, I'm getting anywhere close to the roof. And even if I did get to the roof, it would be on the very edge of the roof. I would have no forward progress, able to jump, clear the entire car. The way he swung his legs is not human like. It was amazing, DK. Less than 0.1% of the population can do that. I guarantee you. So go in your driveway right now, look at your RAV4, and just imagine jumping over that and what would happen if you even attempted it. That's
There's no
impressive to me.
way. There's no way. You're right. And the normies, the 99% of us, the normies, you're totally right. And I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. We've just seen it before. And on top of seeing it before, I actually believe in the NBA that 80%, 80% of the NBA, if they got a running full court and they're warm, a warm bodied NBA player running full court, 80% could jump over a car and dunk.
Nope.
Not even close, huh? Not even just a nope. You don't think 80% with a full running start? I don't think it's that impressive. You want to impress me, Rip? We've seen it. We saw Blake do it 10 years ago. The Kia, it's cute. I know it's a partner. Bring a Kia truck out. Okay? Dunk over Wemby. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, he saved the dunk. It was cringy too. I was hard to watch. Hard to watch once again, but Mac was fun to watch. So those moments of love there.
You see that there was some stirring about him possibly coming back for a fourth year, which I do not think he should do. He should 3 and out, peace out. But there were a couple guys, Giannis, and I can't remember who the other, but they said if Mac comes back next year to try to take a fourth, Giannis will enter. And there was another high profile NBA player. I can't remember who it was.
John Morant.
John Morant. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Draymond
maybe
was
should do it just for that.
Yeah, Draymond was saying they're just chirping. This is when it is. But yeah, so should he retire? That's 3 and out for Mac. You know, it's a pretty good run, but this is the time to go out on top. And he should focus on making it into the league because he can ball. His problem is defense. He just can't really a lot of these guys up. And then, yeah, inspire these other guys. Hopefully we can hold some accountability. I don't know how to hold accountability to these guys to show, but I'd love to see Giannis and Ja and Zach LaVine back in the dunk contest would be amazing. And so Mac doesn't have to come and save this shit and rescue it. It was him. The highlight was him and then Draymond Green. You watched a lot of it. Draymond Green had a lot of stuff to say. Rip. I mean, first, right off the bat, he was very vocal and open on the telecast of hating pretty much everything on All-Star Weekend. The way that people got snubbed, which was shitty, the setup, the configuration of the particular event. He was very much open. He said it. It sucked multiple times. So I don't know if he was out of line. How do you take it? Dude, are you doing lessons with your kids? Let me ask you this. When Draymond says like this sucks, do your kids, are your kids saying this sucks? Or when Chris Paul and Wemby decide to not work through the skills challenge, are you like, yeah, that's actually pretty smart. They're working the system. Are your kids getting some life lessons here from some of this shit?
I think so. My older son scored 14 in his rec league game the other day, so he's well on his way to being an
Let's
NBA
go.
All-Star. So yeah,
Tyler Hero.
I think they're taking stuff away from it. The Chris Paul thing, hey, more creativity. You got to try. He probably wouldn't have beat.
Was your house mad though? They didn't get to see Wemby shoot those threes.
No, I think they've seen enough of that in the regular season.
Seen enough about it. Draymond was yapping though. He thinks Jimmy's a franchise changer now, Rip. Title odds have changed. Just kidding. They haven't. But Draymond really thinks that they have, though. Butler's changed the game for him. He said this is the missing piece. They're going to go on a championship run. It's the most Draymond thing ever. But it was an interesting showing for that man, Rip. I'm not sure how I'm going to digest him coming up in the media because he's got to be done next year. He's going to be out there doing all the NBA stuff. I don't know if I like him or if I don't like him yet. How's he hitting you? How's Draymond hitting you from a announcer point of view?
Triple single. Let's just say we need to keep
Chuck,
Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie together as long as possible. There's no wiggle room there. It's those four, and there's no room for anybody else right now.
Triple single him then, man. Straight up, dude. Those guys are making paper now too. Dude, so it was announced that Shaq was making over $15 million a year now. So he's up there with Tom Brady, who's making 37.5. Charles already makes 21. Dude, here's the question, bro. Are are these guys talking about sports it's starting to become more lucrative to talk about it than to actually play? Here's a couple more nums. Stephen A. Smith, 20 million a year. Troy Aikman, 18. Romo, 18. It's got to be easier to do this. Shaq, 15. Joe Buck, 15. Right?
The only
Right?
problem is with the exception of Stephen A. Smith and I guess Joe Buck, most of those guys had Hall of Fame pro careers before they transitioned into broadcasting.
That's
So
got to be the
that's the
entry. It's
caveat.
got to be the entry to make that kind of money. You
And
got
you
to
got to
have
be
a
really good at it, obviously.
you got to have a resume to make that kind of money because that's kind of crazy. I mean, the top dudes are making 50, but that's a lot to announce the game. And Brady's kind of acting like it's incredibly hard work. I think it's hard work. No disrespect to the announcers. I don't think it's like being a quarterback in an NFL game, though. Am I underestimating broadcasting a game? Is it harder than I think?
It's hard, man. It's improv. It's people in your ear talking to you and telling you to say certain stuff and where to go and when to say it, where to look. So it may be a little bit of a similarity of being a quarterback and having to make 50,000 decisions in 3 seconds, you know?
Crazy. Real fast, man. The Four Nations, NHL hockey. We don't talk about hockey enough, so I got to slip it in here. Kind of stole the show this week, this weird ass week that people didn't know where to turn. This was a place a lot of people turned their energy to, kind of like hockey versus everything else. And it ended up being pretty good. We had a booing of the national anthem between Canada and the United States. We had immediate fighting between the superstars of these countries. Ended up being kind of like a rating smackdown because of these, like, we had a World Cup vibe going here in hockey. So I was up in it. I was all about it, at least for the first couple fucking,
Until
I
we
just
lost to
can't.
Sweden.
Yeah, till you take a loss, and then it turns out the loss doesn't matter as much. I don't know. Did the Rip household flip over? Did you do any flip overs to the NHL from your NBA weekend? Did it get you?
I didn't watch any, but I was on it on Twitter and Instagram, social media, just checking out clips of the fights and everything and seeing who won the games. I think I asked Siri a couple times who won. So I was interested. I mean, I'm not a hockey guy, obviously, but you got to do something different if you're the NHL right now. And just like the NBA is trying something different to get people interested. And it got me in. It got me in for about, I'd say, a total of 12 minutes this weekend. So that's a win for the NHL in
I'm
my
with
house.
it. I'm with it, hockey. What's happening is hockey's out there throwing punches, literally, and the NBA is throwing like skills challenge hacks. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. The NBA might want to call up Gary Bettman, actually, and just get some tips. I'm not against the world versus the USA basketball style. We've come to that point. Could be a little bit more interesting. Country love. People go crazy for that. Real fast, dude, a hang it in the rafters situation happened for the Illinois Fighting Illini. So, mom, this guy, Terrence Shannon Jr., got his jersey, retired at his school. He goes back to the school. It was good, dude. It was all good. He got out there. The banner goes up. It's upside down. Rip. The game operations failed. The intern, the coordinator, the game operations folks put it upside down. And we have a lot of athletic directors on this podcast. Poor Josh Whitman has been on an apology tour since this heartfelt apology just came out. He had to apologize to Shannon and Shannon's mom and the fans and the whole thing. Rip, 1 to 5 stars being this poor coordinator making this mistake. How does this happen, Rip? How does this happen? Did nobody double check?
I mean, it's got to be lack of preparation. Like maybe they were up against a deadline. It didn't have time to test it out. But yeah, just ultimate 1 star moment of the week right there. Embarrassing, viral for all the wrong reasons. Yeah,
All
just
the
just
wrong
lack of
reasons.
preparation, man.
Dude, 27th pick in the NBA draft. Shannon. Now he'll forever be known as the guy whose jersey was upside down. Forever. That's what's gonna happen here, unfortunately. 1 star moment of the week. We all have them. We don't talk about them. We talk about them. Hit us, Rip. What you got?
Man, as everyone knows, I'm coaching a little league team in Long Beach, California. I talk about it every week. It's my whole life right now, basically. And all summer, I'm thinking of ideas to do. And to me, what you do before the game, take a little infield, ground balls to every position. They throw to first base. Gets a little boring. So I tried to think of something new. It's kind of like my idea was like a layup line style infield drill before games. Layup line like they do in basketball, just players moving from one spot to another. Everyone gets a chance to do everything. And so I tried it out at practice the other day, a little bit before our first game. Like I said, I thought about it all summer. In my head, it was really smooth, but within 60 seconds, it was kind of chaotic. Their kids running into each other. It's supposed to be a rotation. Lots of times we had nobody at first base. So fortunately, they kind of got the hang of it after about 15 minutes. I'm going to keep plugging away. Everyone can stay tuned to see how it works out. But the first go at it, pure chaos, 1 star moment right there, DK.
1 star. Rip. The listeners have requested it. I'm just gonna go with it. This is on the 1 star backslash Reddit channel here. Rip can only you do 5 recommendations in 2025 that involve Little League or 1 star moments of the week. So you have 4 more.
Oh, that
You
might be tough. That might
got to
be
do it,
tough.
Rip. We got to expand we got to expand it a little bit more. Get you out of your circle. We're gonna have to get you line dancing in Long Beach, doing
There,
some other
that's a
activities. You
one
have
star
4 more
moment for
though.
sure, right there.
Hey, you gotta give the people what they want, man.
What do you got?
Curious to know if my 1 star moment is more of a common thing in adults and I just don't pay attention to it or hear folks talking about it. Anyway, have that in mind, Rip. I'm curious to know because I don't think people talk about this. I'm going to do it though. 1 star moment. So my lips have officially like declared war on me in the Pacific Northwest here. Moving from Kauai has been a shock to my lips, and they're in like rebellion right now. We're talking full on like Sahara Desert, Saguaro Desert levels of dryness for the 1 stars out there. And then distracts like a whole disaster struck in my lip situation. I had a minor lip crack, visible, I might add. You can kind of still see it, but I had a lip crack. And like a dummy, I went in with my front 2 rabbit teeth and kind of pulled it like a just pulled it like a scab. If you've ever done this, you know it's like ripping like a perfect seam in your lip. It doesn't hurt at first. In fact, it's like kind of okay at first. And then when it starts to heal, pure agony with every single particular movement. So like after convincing Kimmy at first it wasn't like a cold sore situation, which is a nightmare. Like no need to burn the house down. Whenever you say cold sore, people lose their marbles. And then I invest in like some heavy duty Blistex with aloe. I'm on it. It's helping, but I'm still in like the stage of waking up in the middle of the night. And my lip has started to heal itself by then at night. And then you wake up and move your mouth, and it's the worst pain. It's my 1 star moment. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Like the reopening of the lip scar. 1 star moment. Don't bite your lip. I'm curious, Rip. Does that happen to other adults? Am I a child?
I could see it happening once or twice throughout the course of your entire adult life. And I'll tell you what, DK, you haven't talked about it yet, but you have a new camera. You can shout out, maybe possibly recommendation of the week coming up. But I can see that lip crack loud and clear right now in HD, and it's a little disturbing. So I'm going to recommend a Vaseline chapstick combo, probably 3 times a day for the next 4 to 5 days. And when I see you again on this pod next week, I want your lips to be looking 5 star.
Have you ever done the bite of the lip scab though? Have you ever done that?
One of the worst pains known to man, like up there with the paper cuts
It's
or the
we're gonna hear about this because I think everybody's had that one, and I haven't. I just have been in a place where my lips didn't chap. It wasn't 20 fucking degrees, and here I am. So I'm with it though. I'm aware now. I'm a chapstick guy in Portland. Catch me with chapstick now. Wait, what's DK
maybe
doing? He's putting on chapstick. That's what I fucking do now.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Possibly karma for putting all these foods in the rafters over the past couple months. Drumsticks and Taco Bell. I think it's coming back to bite you literally in the lip.
Terrible. Terrible joke. 1 star recommendations of the week, though, because I have been hanging a lot of stuff in the rafters. I'm going to keep hanging stuff in the rafters for my recommendation of the week. So, all right, buckle in here, Rip. Here we go. We're going to be diving into like a existential crisis lurking beneath my thinning yet still respectable hairline. Okay, bro? This is your favorite topic. This is maybe the moment you've been waiting for, actually. Rip. This week's recommendation is all about like changing my attitude, and I'm changing my attitude, dude. So quick backstory. I picture this, me living in Hawaii, my best life. I'm under like a mountain of questionable headwear that whole time after the fire. Like we're talking trucker hats, old golf hats, hotel hats, because I'm classy like that, a few fitted caps. I have enough like promo dad hats to singly like I could have sponsored your little league team with Century Open hats, dad hats, Rip. I look like a walking billboard for a midlife crisis. And I just full on realized it this last week. And I only have three hats that I really like at all, like have any liking to. A baby blue Kapalua hat. It's my favorite golf course. My green group chat podcast hat right here because it fits just right. It fits my head right. And a white Ritz-Carlton Hawaii cap because I am bushy like that. And the rest were just taking up space and suffocating my scalp and not serving me one bit. So, not to mention, I'm having this little hair dilemma, which is to hat or not to hat, which is something that a lot of people have. And also, we don't talk about it enough because they tell you if you wear a hat too much, you're going to lose your hair. You still with me, Rip?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, elephant in the room, or in this case, is that like there's thinning patches on my hair. My hair situation is complicated. It's like thinning, dandruff is under control ish. I'm rocking like a solid horseshoe peak beginnings at my forehead. It's my forehead's running back on me for sure, but it's in control. It still looks decent. It looks decent. So good enough for the next question. Should I ditch hats altogether? Should I let the sun hit my follicles? Should I let the fucking rainwater wash away my sins? Should I embrace natural supplements of the gods of the sun and take it in for my hair? Just keep this hair growing. Should I take the sunroof down, Rip? Should I expose it? That was a question. First question. Do I need hats? Okay. Quick answer. Fucking no. I absolutely need hats. I cannot quit on hats. I will not quit on hats. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it, bro. I've decided to take a drastic action, complete drastic hat action. I'm hanging all of my current hats in the rafters. Think of it as like a hat retirement ceremony. They're out of here. All of them are going in the rafters. For now, from this point on, I'm only going to own hats representing places that I went to school, lived for 2 years or longer, or have a direct family tied to. It's a fucking clean slate. It feels amazing. It's a fresh start. It's a fucking hat. It's a hat renaissance, Rip. So my recommendation of the week is to rep your roots. And I did that. This week. I took a Visa gift card, which I found for $100. I found a leftover one that I've been carrying around for fucking years. Value, Rip. I know you like that. I went on a shopping spree for a couple hats and I got myself 2 hats. Okay. The 2 newest members of the DK Hat Club with this new outlook on life is a Northern Arizona Lumberjacks hat, go Jacks, and a UC Santa Barbara Banana Slugs hat, which you already know, Rip. I know you're jealous already of that one. And I feel fucking fantastic about reconnecting one hat at a time now with my past. And I recommend you join the journey, Rip, with me. Enjoy your city. Fucking rep your city. There it is. Will you join me?
I'll be honest, DK, this comes up in my house probably at least once a month as a husband and wife conversation topic because I am part of 2 little league teams every season. So I'm adding 4 to 6 hats to my collection and I'm a hat hoarder. I hate to throw things away. You can see me right now. I'm wearing a Kansas Jayhawks baseball hat. I've never been to Kansas. I've never seen a Jayhawks baseball game, but somehow I have this hat on. It's because it was my son's team last fall. So it feels wasteful to just use these hats and then throw them away. So I keep them. I have a stack of probably 40 hats in my closet. It's disgusting. No one deserves to look at something like that. So logically, it probably would make sense to narrow it down to the top 5.
You're the perfect candidate to follow my new rules of life and clear it up.
But I'm not
going to
do it. I can't do it because, like I said, I'm a hat hoarder. I hate to throw things away. And what if I want to wear a White Sox or a Wake Forest hat 3 months down the line because I have a black and gold outfit on and it matches? I want to have that option.
Yeah, you're like most people, but you'll listen back, Rip. I'm telling you, you're gonna listen back and you're gonna think, damn, DK's spitting some truth right there. That's some. You'll reevaluate, I think, your Wake Forest hat, and you'll switch over, Rip, to La Cañada College or a Mesa Community College hat
Look,
because it's gonna mean something more to you. And you're gonna walk into a room, and someone may give you a fist pound for a Wake Forest hat. You know what I mean? You might get a oh God, give me a baller from Wake Forest. My mind just went blank on me. Give me
Chris
one.
Paul, our guy Chris Paul, Tim Duncan.
Chris Paul CP. Give me one after them though.
Omaha Baloo, former one-star recruit,
Former
transferred
one
from
star.
Iowa
That's
State.
a tough grab though. You might get a fist pound. Walk in though with a Pima Community College hat on. You might make a real life connection. Think about it. You'll listen in. You'll listen in. All right. Anyway, Rip. It's a good one. My soul's on the line. It has begun. You're going to be seeing my new hat collection on clips for the podcast. So stay tuned. UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs cap coming next week. What's your rec, bro?
Mine is general because I'm being limited to 4 or 5 little league ones a year. So I'm going to just go overall with any position of leadership. Any good leader knows that you can't do everything alone. So the rec of the week is to delegate responsibilities, make sure you do it. Really goes for any project or situation, not just running a little league team. But my advice is don't assume full control. There are talented people under your wings. They're out there. Sometimes they just have to be asked. They can really be a great help taking things off your plate. So I say this before and I'll say it again, just ask and you shall receive, DK. There's hidden talents for people out there that are willing and ready to contribute, but a lot of people want full control and they want to do everything themselves. So that's the rec of the week. If you're in a situation where you're maybe buried with stuff, delegate and take stuff off your plate. That's it right there.
You are running. That's a run around of the most of your little league uses. I think that should be down to 3. The listeners don't even like it when you don't do any detail, Rip, and speak of generics. Who'd you replace?
No, there were no firings.
Out there.
This is no DOGE department. There's no one getting fired or laid off. I'm just saying it. I like full control, but sometimes it's
what
not
did you
possible.
delegate? Capri Suns? Did Capri Suns get redistributed and you had strict instructions that Skittles are off?
So you can't tell me not to talk about Little League and then ask.
Hey, how were the gummy worms working out? By the way,
we haven't started yet. We're starting tonight. Actually, we're starting tonight. So I got a
big game. Hit the music. Rips reacts. Hit the music. Cam Ward boldly telling NFL teams, if you don't draft me, that's your fault. And all remember that. We've heard this before. Is this confidence, Rip, for a franchise QB? Or is this put a bigger target on his back?
I think it's a little anxiety on his part that he might slip down because we're seeing some projections where a quarterback doesn't go until to the last 15 half of the first round. So it's from the Amon-Ra St. Brown playbook. You've seen him recite the 18 or 19 receivers that were drafted before him. I think Cam Ward's kind of taken that back a couple years and just maybe possibly a little threat to NFL teams to try to get picked a little higher.
I mean, give the guy some dues. He did set the Division I record for most career touchdown passes, 156. He's not a complete clown out there. It's not like, you know why, Rip, you're jaded and I'm jaded too. This has Josh Rosen reminiscences all over it, raising questions about confidence, with the NFL future. Josh Rosen did this at one point in time, okay? That's what's happening here. So we have a little PTSD. With the Bengals considering whether to give T. Higgins a long-term deal or just slap another franchise tag on him, do you think they should keep him around, Rip, or is it time to trade him for a lifetime supply of Skyline chili and a promise to fix that offensive line? What's the GM move if Rip's in charge?
I think you got to let him go in favor of, just like you said, getting more protection for Joe Burrow. They got a lot of big contracts coming up. I think Jamar Chase is possibly coming up soon as well. And you got a guy named Andre Yasovis, the third receiver there, who can step up into that role and be a fantasy draft pick next year if T. Higgins is let go. So, hey, I love T. Higgins, but I think you got to take one for the team here and upgrade that offensive line instead.
For the one stars out there, spell Yusovich.
IOSIAVS. Is that right?
500level.com, 500level.com. What's the discount code, Rip?
DKANDRIP.
The Suns are 3 games. All right, let's do a little Suns talk. We'll wrap this up. The Suns, jeez. Okay, here's the truth. They're 3 games out of the playoffs with 28 games left and the league's most brutal schedule. So let's do some fantasy GM here and explain how this team doesn't completely implode. We're looking at a potential epic collapse or the most improbable playoff run since the 2007 We Believe Warriors. Rip, time to get your bets in, Suns fans. Right now, we need more Kevin Durant mid-range. I know you like that. The Suns are 3 games out of the playoffs. They're facing the toughest schedule in the league. What do they need to improve to avoid an epic collapse run? What needs to happen just basketball-wise? Perfect scenario.
It's easy. It's 2 things. It's don't have the big 3 have any major injuries. A game here and there is fine, but we need Beal, Durant, and Booker all on the court at the same time. And the other one, DK, is obvious. If you're a Moneyball person, if you're a stats guy, if you're one of these analytic guys, look at the numbers. Bol is incredible. The guy doesn't play enough, but for the last week, he's finally been playing. If you give that guy more minutes, 25, 30 minutes a game, he puts up numbers. He shoots efficiently. The guy is probably the missing link, and he's just sitting right there on the bench.
He's fun to watch. Do me a favor, listeners and Rip, when you're watching Bol next, focus on Bol on defense. Just look at him and don't watch the plays develop. Watch Bol, and you realize why exactly what Rip's saying is not a option, because dude is a liability on that side of the court. But fun to watch, Rip. Great episode. I know you got construction going at your house. You're going to talk about it next week. I'm going to give you right there. Talk about you're doing more renovations. This man does a renovation project every 6 months. Every 3 months, you send me a fundraiser. Every 6 months, you renovate a new piece of your house. That's what's happening right now.
That's where your money's going, baby.
Yeah. You're like an Irish traveler, bro. You're going to leave town pretty soon with a new fucking paved driveway. The end of an era. Dude, real fast. I just saw breaking news. Phoenix Suns Arena, formerly known as this is the change that we maybe need, bro. Formerly known as a Footprint Center. Breaking news. They're taking down the signage. I got some sources, B-Sim, out there in Phoenix right now. They're taking down the signs there. New partnership coming. I have some rumors from the NBA. What do you think? Who's taking it over, Rip? No longer the Footprint Center. Mid-season.
It's got to be Pete's Fish and Chips or Long John Silver's.
God, you love those places. They always, if AI picks up our stuff, we're gonna be the one podcast still that they're like, damn, one podcast still says Long John Silver's like every 3 episodes. Something's happening. Inside sources says it's not. It sucks. Should I break it?
Yeah,
Western
GPT.
Alliance Center, new partnership.
Let's get Whataburger or Ted's Hot Dogs in there instead.
We need a better one, Rip. 1-star recruits. Get it going. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.